Alright, I honestly didn't know if I even wanted to make this a video because I thought it was pretty obvious, but there's a good amount of people kind of like, why is this upcoming patch a filler? Oh my god, it's bad. The game's dying, quote unquote. And I also really have nothing else to upload until next week where I have a bunch of stuff to upload, so I just need something to put out. So yeah, here we are. Gonna be talking about why the short patch slash filler patch of 4.1 is actually really good for really almost every player. For starters, if you are someone like me, funny enough, who is going to be pulling for Asheville, you probably don't fall into this troop, but most people are not going to be pulling for Asheville just because, one, he really doesn't have too much value right now. He is kind of a future rail character, and I'm saying that as a big Asheville glazer, and two, he is before a very important update, which is also the main point of this video, funny enough. So anyway, if you are unaware, the 4.1 update is going to be a shortened patch. Usually the duration of patches is roughly about 6 weeks. This 4.1 patch is going to be 4 weeks. So 2 weeks is going to be going down. This patch is going to begin around the 24th of March, last for 4 weeks, and then we immediately go into the anniversary update of 4.2. It's given that with this shortened time, we're going to have less events and stuff, less of stuff to do. So the main stuff and the thing you could assume we were going to get is going to be, you know, the banners, the story for the 4.1 update, and then maybe one event. But if you did miss the stream or any stream recaps, we are getting a main event and a smaller event, the regular Planner Fisher and Realm of the Strange stuff, not Realm of the Strange, Planner Fisher, and the one for the traces, I can't remember what it's called. The double drops for that, and then the main thing, which is actually the main quote-unquote event, it's not an event because it's a permanent mode, but the Divergent Universe reset. Pretty sure every update we've had so far with a Divergent Universe extension slash reset, same thing with Currency Wars, usually shortens the amount of events we get, so we usually get one plus whatever we get there, and this time we are getting a full reset of Divergent Universe, so the Amphorius one is going to be completely gone, replaced with the Planarcadia stuff, so all the stuff for Stellar Jade is going to be up for grabs again. Kind of functions as the event part of the update, which is honestly kind of bad in my opinion, because I don't know how much people actually like the universe modes, but I find them pretty boring personally. Divergent Universe is also very easy to exhaust, and since they're not really resetting the difficulty amounts you did, so if you already did the highest difficulty, you're going to be staying like that, so there's not really a point in going back in there. It's just kind of repeatedly doing the stuff so you can get all the rewards. You can just look out for the occurrences. I don't really know if I want to classify that as an event because that's just what you're really going to be doing. I don't know, maybe people like doing that. I don't personally, it's pretty boring. But yeah, that's pretty much all we are looking at when it comes to the update. So a lot of people are like, yo, dead game, lol, filler patch, we're already in filler patch period. No, so the reason this is actually really good for most people, again, for the people that are summoning for Asheville and stuff, this probably doesn't really apply to you. And also, even if you're playing for the reruns, one is Boot Hill. Most people are not going to pull for him, even though Boot Hill is really cool. And then Hyacine, I don't know how many people will summon for her. She is a more popular character, but that's also a lot because she is just really strong. So if you're a newer player, you probably will be pulling for her. If you're an older player, you probably already have her by now. She is just really good to have, so most people probably have her. And then as I mentioned, Asheville, more of a skippable character. So this patch being more of a filler for most people is good. The reason for that is it gives a lot of people time to recover from the 4.0 update, because 4.0 was brutal. Not only was it start to the Elation meta with Yahuang and Sparksy for the second half, the reruns were really hard to deal with for a lot of people. Like, the only quote-unquote miss when it came to the reruns was just Rappa. And I don't even know if I want to classify her as a miss. I just assume, and I'm pretty confident that she's the least summoned on. Even though she took ages to rerun, most people probably don't really want to pull her. Like, you'll see a very vocal minority talking about her, but realistically, most people really didn't pull her. But outside of them, everyone that reran actually had just a great value. Like, Black Swan got her buff, so anyone that didn't have her and uses Dot went for her. Hycelene's was a part of the 2 cornerstones with Dot, plus Kafka was given up for free, so it was actually a lot easier for someone to just build the entire team right in that update. Since you could pick Kafka, pull Hycelene's, pull Black Swan, you're good to go. So Hycelene's was very valuable. Evernight, I don't know how many people skipped her banner, and I don't really remember her banner sales, but anyone that did skip her probably ended up realizing that, like, hey, not only does she make Casper's really the best team in the game, because them together just broken, she on her own is insane. She also has a absolute broken amount of early vertical investment. Her E1 is insane, fixes remembrance is the only issue with single target, and then her E2 is probably the best E2 in the game. And then her Lycone as well, which is really good for the remembrance team in general. Flip side, a lot of people that skipped Ceredra, especially with all the initial downsides of being like, oh, just use Robin, or oh, just use whoever for final Noxa. Most people realize that maybe they shouldn't have, and they should get Ceredra and just have that big upgrade. So a lot of people pulled Ceredra for their Finon and Anoxa. And Sparkle, she was one of the ones that were given out for free, so anyone that didn't have her could just pick her there, but she also just has really good vertical investment. So maybe she's more on the lower side just because she was free that update. But yeah, it also doesn't help that really everyone that I'm talking about besides Rappa has insane vertical investment. Well, Rappa has her Lycon, but yeah, besides that, yeah. Sparkle E1 really good, especially with the quality of life. E2 is broken. Saridra E1 is really good as well. Both new characters, Yaoguang and Sparksy, have great Lycons and great E1s. Well, Yaoguang better E1, but yeah. And then Black Swan has an insane E1. Heislins has a god upgrade for the dot team. Evernight, I already told you about, just broken E1 off the bat, broken S1, broken E2. There was just so much. So a lot of people definitely did get drained dry with the 4.0 update. With 4.1, that's going to give you a shorter amount of time to save up, but a full almost patch duration to save up. With the Divergent Universe and whatever stuff we are getting, the pull count is overall lower than we usually get, of course, since there is just less time to accumulate anything. But depending on if you have like the daily pass, if you get the battle pass, whatever the hell, you still are going to net probably around 100 pulls. I don't know exactly, that's why I'm just saying around it, which is still going to be really good for Anniversary. Then Anniversary comes out, whatever, that patch is probably going to give out a lot of Jades. Usually the Anniversary patches are always the ones that not only add maps, all the Anniversary stuff, you're probably going to get the most amount of Jades you can get in an update. So you get a good amount of time to save, a whole update's worth almost. Characters that are not necessarily tempting for most people, like again, most people are going to skip Asheville. He's probably going to be the most skipped update of the 4.x characters. Boot Hill rerun, most people are probably not going to go for him. Hyacine, I am still 50-50 on how I think about that. Good amount of people will summon, good amount of people will skip. I don't know, because she's just really good in a sense, but I feel like a lot of people probably have her by now. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to wait and see about that. So for most people, they're gonna get that entire time to skip, and then we get into 4.2. Not only talking about how brutal the actual whole thing of being the Anniversary patch is gonna be, because both Silverwolf SP and Evanescia are gonna be super highly sought after. They're gonna be some of the main big pushes of a 4.x, especially Silverwolf because she is the Anniversary unit. And this is Anniversary. I am 100% expecting this rerun instance in Anniversary to be absolutely brutal. And I'm talking about they're gonna rerun Cyrene, they're gonna rerun Phynon, they're gonna rerun Castrus. They're probably gonna rerun the Dahlia, especially with the actual buff for Firefly. They're probably gonna re-release her. So anyone that did end up skipping out on the Dahlia, if you use Break in the first place, I don't know why you would do that. But for anyone who didn't, plus she also has great vertical investment, that is gonna be insane too. And then for the banners that they rerun for the buff characters, Firefly might be in there, which her vertical investment, even after the buffs maybe, are probably going to be really good, especially since even pre-buff she has her broken E2. E1 makes her not use skill points, and it's just Firefly as a unit. So not only is the actual banners themselves with the new characters gonna be super brutal, the fact that there's gonna be so many sought after reruns, because you know how Hoyo is, they're gonna try to capitalize off max money, so there is most likely chance that they're just going to dump a bunch of these highly sought after characters like Cyrene, Castrus, Phynon. I can always see them being good in reruns. Cyrene hasn't even got her first rerun yet, and she already is able to get one with the duration that it's been, at least after 4.1, so I can very much see her in 4.2. Castrus, Phynon were in that update too, so that applies to them, and they're just also really hype units. The Dahlia hasn't rerun either, and then when 4.2 begins, she would have that rerun slot. So I am very confident that the whole just actual little bit is going to be this brutal slot for that. So a lot of people are gonna have to prepare for that. That's why 4.1 is going to serve a good purpose, to give roughly amount of pulls you would usually get in a patch, and then have characters that are more incentivized to skip for most people. And that is why 4.1 having this weird little duration with a bit of weird stuff to do, I think is just a good thing for most players. But yeah, that really is it. I just wanted to make this video talking about that, since there's just a lot of weird info going around about 4.1, and again, I have nothing to upload until next week. So if you found this video enjoyable to watch, dropping a like would be greatly appreciated. If you're new to the channel or haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell icon for future videos like this, along with all the types of Star Wars content, and I'll see you later. Peace out.